busy offseason for the Cincinnati Bengals, an interesting offseason for the Cincinnati Bengals, and we just had some moves of interest added to the table, so to speak, for the Bengals. We're going to run through them. Tanner Hudson, Sean McDermott fired. More pitcher talk, defensive end moves coming. A lot to get to in this episode of Bengals Breakdown because things just got very interesting for the Cincinnati Bengals. First, shout out to the new subscribers. Thank you for subscribing to Bengals Breakdown. Probably in it for the off-season news, everything happening in the off-season. Shout out to our new subs here. Be sure you hit that sub button right now. We may be doing some more shout outs soon. Also, you'll get free off-season updates, mock draft signings, trades, all that right now with the Cincinnati Bengals. As I say that, we get into it. Tanner Hudson is back with the Bengals. They announced earlier today that Hudson gets, whether you want to say re-sign or an extension or however the wording plays out, he is back for one more year with the Cincinnati Bengals. He's one of my favorite players, actually. I just feel like he's always doing the right thing here. Contract details not out yet for Hudson. You kind of just infer it's the same as last year and the same as his whole tenure from 23 into this season is not much money, doing the dirty work, there when you need him. And that's who Tanner Hudson is for the Bengals. That's who Tanner Hudson has been for the Bengals. My official stance is the Bengals are in a prove-it year for the coach, for possibly for the quarterback, for the front office. They need all the help they can get, and they are not going to risk losing dependable players. That is Tanner Hudson. Back with the Bengals for a reason. If you feel like you can get it done quickly, easily, and not for too much money, you got to do it. I actually think Zach Taylor and company have used the tight end room pretty responsibly. I liked when they added Noah Fant, a big receiving threat last season. I thought he played out well. I don't know that they're bringing him back. You note there he is a free agent right now. But hey, if you went Gesicki, Sample, and Hudson takes over that Fant spot, I'm still smiling. I think it's good stuff by the Bengals to get this going with the tight end room. I know a lot of you immediately put a short out, and the immediate response was defense, defense, defense. We'll talk defense here soon. But your one-word reaction to the Tanner Hudson signing, hey, it's basically the first real one of the offseason for the Bengals. They kind of get it going with Tanner Hudson. Your one-word reaction to them bringing back T. Huddy down below. More news. Got to stay up to date with the coaching situation right now with the Bengals. Zach Taylor is staying, by the way. Weird stat, by the way. Only 2 coaches have been coaching the same team since 2022. Andy Reid and Zach Taylor. That's it. Everyone else was either hired later, fired, changed teams, so on and so forth. Nonetheless, Dan Pitcher is the man being talked about right now, Bengals-wise, because he is up for other jobs within the NFL. We've talked a lot about the Browns. Now it is the Buccaneers showing interest in Dan Pitcher for their offensive coordinator job. We know Zach Taylor calls the plays. Ian Rappaport emphasizing earlier the Bucs will interview Pitcher for their offensive coordinator position. The Browns interviewing him for head coach. There is some interest in Dan Pitcher around the NFL right now. There's a real chance he is gone from the Bengals, I don't know, in the next few weeks, few days maybe, depending on how some of these interviews work out. That'll shake things up for the Bengals. Big thing here, they don't have to do this. They could block that interview process of Dan Pitcher, try and keep him, blah, blah, blah. Zach Taylor's doing the right thing here. A guy that doesn't call plays for you, has a chance to do so, has the chance to move up. You let Pitcher do that. I think it's a good move by Zach Taylor in general as a person. Obviously, it will hurt the Bengals. I think Pitcher is a smart offensive mind that has done good things so far, good history. Bucs also looking at some other names, though. Yes, Pitcher's on the list, but Mike McDaniel's floating around. Todd Monken, if he doesn't want to go with Harbaugh. Name after name after name after name. Everyone kind of being considered right now in the Bucs world. So the pitcher situation's on the table for the Buccaneers, for the Browns also for their head coaching role. But we did want to let you know there are other options right now for the Buccaneers. So it's not like it's Dan Pitcher or nothing for Tampa Bay. What do you guys think? If I talk to you a month from now, will Dan Pitcher be back with the Bengals for next season in his role? Type Y for yes, type N for no. He's headed elsewhere. Pitcher's getting a new job. McDermott needs a new job. Another head coach fired in the NFL, Sean McDermott of the Buffalo Bills. Big one here, everyone. I had a buddy ask, why are the Bills firing Sean McDermott? You have a lot of success. That matters. I get that. You lose the same way every single season, multiple seasons in a row. It's time for a change. 10 head coaches have been fired. Those roles continue to be filled. Those roles, it's coming along a little slowly. Just 2 of them filled. And I think we're all kind of wait and see because good example is like Harbaugh's going to the Giants. Is he bringing Monken? Is Monken going to Cleveland? Does McDaniel get a job? Does McDaniel? Lot going on right now. It's okay to play the what-if game because I think the Bengals are in the what-if game, especially with Dan Pitcher having some interest right now. Could Dan Pitcher be a candidate for that Bills job, right? And with McDermott gone, a name connected to the Bengals for I don't know how long now, Joe Brady, could he find his way to Cincinnati as an offensive coordinator? Yes, there's a very real scenario where that happens. We'll break that down in just a second. But hey, good opportunity to talk a little bit about our friends at PrizePicks. The big game is almost here, and there's no better way to cash in during America's biggest sporting event than PrizePicks, where it always feels good to be right. Since the big game is right around the corner, that also means it's your last chance to get into the football action before next season. So, close the season out right with PrizePicks by getting $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5 lineup. Just $5, just play it, and you'll get the $50 for it. Good opportunity if you're hanging with someone watching the big game or any big games coming up. You're like, they're not interested, they're not paying attention, they're just eating, whatever. Show them the PrizePicks app. Show them how it works. Show them how you can cash in. Hey, if you know ball, show them how you've been cashing in. Right, another opportunity to cash in here with a big game tonight. Miami, Indiana, going for it. We think Carson Beck's going to throw heavy. First time we've done this on a lineup in a while, passing attempts. You can go more on 29.5 for Carson Beck, then take his target in Malachi Toney, right? We're playing smart here. More, and then more on Omar Cooper. Why? Rushing plus receiving touchdowns. You know I love both, and you need just one to hit more on a half there. So a good lineup there to check out. That's an example of a 3-pick power play. You can also, check out one of the newest features right now on PrizePicks. That's early payout. Great example. You got 2 there, or a 3-pick lineup. If 2 hit, you want to cash out, you're good to go. You want your winnings. You may now have the option to cash out those winnings before the game even finishes. Yeah, that's right. Download the app today. And again, that deal, you use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That is code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, it's good to be right. All right, back to the Joe Brady discussion. Formerly with LSU, that is the forever connection to the Bengals, right? The Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson LSU team, Joe Brady with that group back then. That is the connection. That is why Joe Brady has been connected for a while now. That is the idea of, hey, can we get this guy somehow? Again, McDermott fired. Brady is the OC play caller with the Bills. No one knows what happens now, right? Does GM Brandon Beane want to bring Brady up to the head coaching role? Does he want to restart with a new group? Does he want to keep Brady? There's a lot that goes into this one. Look, it's some complicated stuff here. Again, like I just talked about, does Brady stay? Does he go? Head coach, OC, NFL, college. There's a lot to it. There is a scenario we mocked up for you here on Bengals Breakdown where Joe Brady is with Cincinnati next season. It would be as the offensive coordinator, but this is the scenario. Obviously, Dan Pitcher will leave. Buccaneers, Browns. I mean, he's being considered, right? Yeah, I think he's a heavy candidate for the Browns from what I'm hearing and what we've talked about here on the show. Then Joe Brady is not promoted to Bengals head coach. Then you got to kind of sit back. What am I doing here? I didn't get promoted. I think we've all had those moments in these jobs. Then he, again, goes around the NFL. There's jobs open, but nobody hires him. They don't think he's ready, so on and so forth. So, again, considering his options, thinking about what he wants to do. Then he decides, I'm done with the Bills. They didn't promote me. I'm not working for so-and-so. Whatever, Bengal. That's what happens at the end of that little skiddly-bop, deedly-doo of arrays that we have mocked up for you. Hey, why not? Let's have some fun. It is the offseason after all. Now's your chance to call me crazy. You can do it with a percentage. What is the chance the Bengals get Joe Brady as an OC? I do think it's noteworthy. We'll talk about this in a second. Zach Taylor calls plays, so whatever. Leave your percentages down below. Give me a number, a percent chance that Joe Brady comes in as the OC next season. And again, here's my take. It's a fun idea. Connection is all there. I love it, right? It's the Burrow, it's the Chase, it's the Bayou Bengals, whatever you want to. It's just too many hoops. Too much going on here. The finisher might be, let's say you even get this guy in the door for an interview. You then have to ask Zach Taylor, either to give up play calling or you have to ask Joe Brady to go from a good play caller to not calling plays at all. The idea, too, also, hey, if you don't get him now, could get him next year. And I know a lot of you guys are ready for the Zach Taylor era to be over in Cincinnati. Hey, if you're thinking to yourself, why are we talking about this? Why are we doing this? At the least, next year, Zach Taylor is unemployed, and you're in the know on an option for that head coaching job. That's why you watch Bengals Breakdown, baby, for free. Every, week, you're getting new info, you're getting new news, new rumors. Why? Where's it coming from? So be sure you hit that sub button right now so you can know more about things like the defensive end moves the Bengals will have to decide, whatever you want to call it. They're coming in hot. Bengals have to make these moves. Good example, I put up the Tanner Hudson thing for you guys today immediately. What about defense? What about Hendrickson? I get it. We get a report from ESPN's Ben Baby. The Bengals will likely move on from Trey Hendrickson. That was the first piece of defensive end moves. He also noted, and this has been a big one, I know when Chris Daughtry was hosting, he always talked Joseph Osai, re-signing Joseph Osai, what the situation would be there. They're going to figure that bad boy out. We've given you contract statistics, everything. So with Hendrickson, my take, it's inevitable here for Trey. Just seems like it's time to be done. We're seeing other teams talk about him as a free agency target. His numbers have been good at times and decline and then bounce back. It's a bad situation. He's been hurt. He's been healthy. He's holding out. He's hurt again. He's hurt this, but it's actually that. It's too much. It's too much. I'm sorry to say. Seems inevitable the Bengals will let him walk. And honestly, he will be one of the biggest free agents, probably a top 10, top 5 free agent in this class. Now, for Osai, asked him to have a big year, have some big moments, do good things. That is what he did. Giant year, he had a good year for who Joseph Osai is, right? I enjoyed the numbers. I enjoyed what he's done the past the past 2 seasons specifically. I think it's worthy of getting this guy back. Make it happen. Figure it out. If you want to retool this defensive line, if you want to keep this defense going, if you liked anything of what they did, I think Joseph Osai is a key piece. I will also note, you just don't know how anything and everything is going to shake out, and you really don't want to end your offseason. We give you this list. Imagine just Hendrickson and Osai being off, and then it's Miles Murphy and, the what-if of Shamar Stewart. You kind of want to make sure you have a guaranteed good enough player there. Plenty more to come. Bengals offseason continues. Be sure to subscribe.